Hi friends, today we're back to do another reading vlog, and today we're going to be reading One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I'd like to start by complaining, as usual, about Olivia Blake's name. Why is it Olivia? Why is that how you say it? Why is it not Olivia, Liv? I don't know. But something about it feels incomplete and I don't love it. No offense to the queen herself. I've read a few other books by her. I read the Atlas 6 two books that are out and I enjoyed them, and I absolutely loved Alone with You in the Ether, so I'm excited to start another book by her. From what I understand, this book was written a while ago and started as something shorter or as a series of stories or something like that, and is now finally being published as an actual book. The story follows two warring families of witches in present-day Manhattan. I love that setting. I think that's a really great idea. I think it's a little bit confusing because I flipped to the first couple of pages and there's a character list, which we appreciate a character list, right? But each character has like a nickname, and I don't know about you guys, but I get so confused and frustrated when characters go by multiple names, especially when they don't correspond to their name. Like the first character is Koshi, or Koshé, I think it's Koshi, the Deathless, sometimes called Lazar. Okay. Dimitri called Dima, got it. Roman called Roma, got it. Alexandra, aka Sasha. Yelena, aka Lenachka. Like, I don't know, some of the names just don't line up with their nicknames, and that can sometimes kind of just drive me bonkers trying to keep up with who's who. Especially when you have families with multiple siblings. Like, just give everybody their own name. Anyway, that's a silly thing to complain about right off the bat. But I get the vibe that our families are Russian, question mark. It's giving Anastasia vibes based on the name Dimitri alone. It's the Anatova sisters and the Antonova sisters. And where's the other one? The brothers. The Fedorov brothers. And their families have been working, not together, working separately but amicably for a long time, and then something happens and the families kind of start being at war, but I think there's a lot of history there. So anyway, that's what our story's about. I'm excited to read it. One thing that I do like about Olivia's books are the images and the pictures that are in here and all the art. I did get a little confused when I was reading when I was reading the Atlas 6 and the Atlas Paradox, though, because sometimes there will be these pictures but it doesn't tell you who is who, and they don't necessarily line up with the chapters. So I hope that this one is a little bit more obvious, like which ones line up with which characters. But anyway, I need to stop complaining. I haven't even read the book yet. I'm excited to read it. I think I'm gonna like it. I get my star rating prediction is probably a 3.5 or a 4. I have a feeling I'm gonna like it. I don't know that I'm gonna love it just because of how I felt about the Atlas 6. I liked it, didn't love it. But yeah, so thanks for joining us today, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm about 100 pages into this book, and so far I'm really liking it. I first of all just really love Blake's writing. I can't really explain it. Her prose is just like really clicking with me, and it did in her other books too. And I just love how her writing is so smart and it flows so well. And she's so good at descriptions, and she's so good especially at descriptions when it comes to like feelings and the way that characters talk and the way they move while they talk and that kind of nuanced thing. So I'm really liking that. But here's my main complaint, right? And I already said this, but it's the characters, and it's the characters' names. There's too many of them, and too many of them have the same name or very similar names. There's like, and I don't know how to pronounce it 100%, but there's like Maria, the mom, and then the daughter's name is Maria, who goes by Masha, and then there's Sasha, whose actual name is Alexandra, and there's all of these scenes where it's like, Masha, hand me the pen. Maria hands her the pen. And I'm just like really struggling to keep up with the names, especially Masha and Sasha. My brain is just like, not taking it. I'm also a little confused by like the pictures. It took me literally 30 minutes of staring at this to understand that this is the mom and this is the twins. These are twins, but why are they all wearing the same color? They're all wearing the same outfit, right? Like they're like, these two look the same. These two look the same. These two are twins, right? They all have the same haircut. Sasha or Masha is supposed to have like long flowing hair down to her waist or whatever. None of these characters have that. Okay, sorry, I was interrupted by a student. Yes, I'm on break at work. But yeah, other than that, I'm really liking it. I really like the two kind of romantic storylines that we have going on. I think both of them are nice, especially Sasha's. I think it's fucking Sasha. Oh my god. I'm gonna be embarrassed if I get all their names wrong forever. But I like it. I like the story. I like the two families. I like how like they're feuding. I think it's building up pretty well. I don't know. I feel like something big is about to happen, so I wanted to check in before I get to that point. But yeah, we're having a good time. No complaints. Well, that's not true. There are complaints, but they're minimal. Okay, I kept reading for 30 more minutes and the big thing happened and I'm shook. Was not expecting that. Now I'm on page 154 and I'm sad about what just happened. But I guess that's a good sign because that shows that I care about the characters and I care about the story. Again, I'm really liking the tension that's unfolding between the family members, and I really like how all of the siblings are intertwined and the leaders of each family also have a history that's intertwined. The only thing I wish we were seeing a little bit more is like more magic. We just kind of get that they're witches and we get little glimpses of their magic, but there's not really anything specific that's being done or like what it's being used for. Also, one of the families is like basically cartel, like drug traffickers, and I don't love that as a career choice, obviously. But I wish we were getting more about that and how that plays out. But I think we might be getting that soon. But I just wanted to say, like, there's a big thing. There's a death that happens. We're good. Around, what was that, like 1:30, around page 130? And I don't know, it's affecting me. I'm sad. But I do again want to say the writing is so good around the death scene and around the scene that happened right before it. I was underlining like every freaking line. I just love all the little things that she says. They're just so good. So yeah, that's that. Okay, so we have a trope being used that I don't really like. And this might be a mild spoiler, maybe, but I'm not going to tell you what characters involves or anything like that. But it's like the trope where someone dies and then they're like not really dead, right? Someone dies and then they're magically brought back to life. And I hate it. I hate that trope because I feel like the way in which they're brought back to life is usually a cop-out. If it's not something that was pre-established, like that you can do that, like this person has the ability to bring someone back from the dead, or like there's a magic potion that does this or whatever, I just feel like, I don't know, it gives me the feelings that authors really are just like making shit up as they go. And I don't really like that feeling, if that makes sense. So that's kind of happening, and there's a couple of characters. There's like a moment where so much happens at once. It's like, dead, dead, who's that? Are you dead? Not dead. Ghost, question mark. And you're like, what? And you have like whiplash. And then now they're just, okay. I'm doing a terrible job of explaining this because I'm worked up about it. So we had this huge scene happen where like a million things happen at once. And then there's like a break and the author just unnecessarily tells you what all of the other characters who've never really been mentioned before are doing. And you're like, I don't need this right now. And I know it's just like a tool of suspense or whatever, but it's annoying because again, it just feels like a cop-out. It's like, okay, there's 4 sisters that we've literally never even heard from their perspective, and you're gonna tell me what they're up to now? You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I really liked the beginning. I'm not feeling super crazy about the middle. I'm on page 220. And yeah, I'm like right about halfway through. I I'm still really enjoying the writing. I'm still really enjoying our romance. I would say though, I think for some people it might be a little bit insta-lovey. I don't really think it's insta-lovey, but it does happen pretty quickly. But it's like kind of meant to be like, wow, these characters just kind of fall into each other's orbit and then like can't undo it. And I like that, but I was thinking about it while I've been reading and I was just like, you know, some people might not love how fast this happened. It's not exactly like a slow burn or anything like that. So I just thought I would throw that out there. But I'm gonna keep reading. If I may finish this tonight, honestly. It's early. Did I read 200 pages today? Probably. If I don't finish it today, I'll probably definitely finish it tomorrow. So I will keep you updated. But I hope that this weird bump in the road kind of resolves itself and this is not the whole, like, I hope this isn't the sole climax of the story because I didn't really love it. But we'll see. Okay, so I'm on page 291 and I did not finish yesterday. I actually just went to sleep last night, so I didn't read very much more. But I think I've kind of figured out what it is that's bothering me about this. And I said the same thing in my last video about Carissa Broadbent, but I'm just not a huge fan of the way Olivia Blake delivers information to us. I like to be able to piece things together. I like to be able to predict where the plot is going. That's not to say I don't like suspense or I don't like a good plot twist, but they have to be logical and make sense. I don't like when things just come out of nowhere and there's like no possibility that you could have put it together, or like it just feels like off the wall. I don't like that. And there's some things that are happening in here that are like magical, and yes, our characters have magic, so it's like, yeah, theoretically they could do this, but we're given really no explanation for how they've done it, just that it's been done. And it's this thing that's like, oh, this is impossible, oh, how could you do this? Or like if you can do this, can every witch do this? We're not really clear. Are you guys the only ones that can do this? I don't know. Is this something that I'm supposed to be like blown away by, or is this something that's like normal for you guys? There's really no detail or explanation on how they accomplish this. And it's like bothering me because I can't tell if we're eventually going to get it and they're going to be like, this is how this was done, or if we're just gonna kind of have to accept that there's not really an explanation. So I don't love that. That being said, I do love our characters. I care about them very much. And again, I really love the writing. Olivia Blake is so good at writing, I think I said this already, but like emotions and like just the nuances of feeling and like the way that you carry your emotions in your body. Like a lot of it's very physical in like the way that, you know, a soft touch or like the facial expressions and the body language. Like she's really good at doing all of that, and I love reading it and I'm underlining so much of it. If I were to be a writer, I would love to write certain things the way that she writes them. But again, I'm still just like not 100% sold on the plot. So it feels weird reading it because I'm loving the act of reading it, but I still kind of feel like I don't really know what's going on. So that's where we are. I don't have too much left. I've got like 100 something pages left, like right at 100, I think, 115 pages left. So I'll probably only update you one more time before I finish, but I would definitely recommend this for people who are fans of her writing previously. Like if you read the Atlas 6 and you liked it, I really think you'll like this. Yeah, that's all I've got for now. Thanks for tuning in. I shall be back either later today or tomorrow morning. I also just wanted to say I think I'm having a hard time personally connecting to this plot because there is a big, like the main motivator for our characters is revenge. And that's just something that I'm like never really a huge fan of in books, is like revenge plots or like, you know, like an eye for an eye kind of thing. Like that's just not something that really does it for me because I don't like think that that's the right way to do things. So I'm having a hard time kind of standing behind our characters in some of the actions that they're choosing to do. But it's interesting because I think some of the children of our families are taking a stand against the elders of the family, and I do think that's cool. They're like, your ways don't have to be our ways, and your traditions don't have to be our traditions, and we can make our own life, and we can choose to do things that benefit us rather than just following blind orders. So I like that part of it, but I can't really relate to the whole revenge situation, and I'm still not loving the drug dealer situation. But yeah. Hi. Okay, so One for My Enemy has been finished. We are done, and I ended up rating it a 3-star, maybe even a 2.5. Don't hate me. In the end, it ended up just not being my favorite. I can't really think of some things specifically that I haven't already hinted at, but I liked the writing the most. That's probably my favorite part of the story. I liked the plot, I think, the least. There were parts to me that just felt confusing toward the end. I kind of felt like I didn't really know what was going on. Characters were like doing things that I didn't understand why. Part of it was because we weren't supposed to understand why yet. And then after they would do the thing, they'd launch into this full explanation of why they did that, which I don't want to have to listen to you just like tell me why you made the choices you made. I want to understand them from the get-go. That's me personally. It's really dramatic. Like, you know, the whole thing is kind of based on Romeo and Juliet. All of the quotes in the introductions for the chapters are from Romeo and Juliet. And so you can kind of guess where that's going. And so the end is very dramatic and very just like kind of over the top in a way that I didn't love. And I don't know. I liked it. I didn't love it. And that's really all I can say. I think that the point that she was trying to make could have been made in a lot fewer pages, or I felt like the page count that we had could have been spent developing things that needed more developing. I still felt like the magic system was really underutilized. I didn't really understand, like, we never really, like, there's never a clear layout of like each character has a certain power. Here's what they are, here's what they can do, here's what they can't do, here's what all witches can do, here's what is, I don't know, like we never know, because then there's just like these random like, oh, you guys can teleport, that's cool. Oh, you can feel what other people are thinking, that's cool. But like, I don't know, I just felt like the way that it was structured didn't really make sense. We didn't get the layout that I wanted from it, if that makes sense. What else? There's a lot to do with revenge and plotting and like seeking punishment for others' wrongdoings and that kind of thing, which I feel like was fine until it just became like back and forth, and it was like, you did this, so now you have to suffer, but then now you did this, so now I have to come back at you, and like that kind of thing got a little old for me. I know I already said this, but I think the romance was my favorite part. I loved Sasha and Lev. I loved Masha and Dimitri. Yes, I wish Sasha and Masha had different names. It bothered me the whole time. Maybe you guys are tired of hearing me talk about this and you wouldn't be bothered by that, but it just really drove me up a wall, the whole book. I liked a lot of the monologues involving the romance, like the declarations of love and like the, you know, I've loved you my whole life, and like the sharing of feelings. I think that's like a really strong suit of Blake's writing. But yeah, I would say like, if you did really like the Atlas Six, you would probably like this. They're really similar to me. They both have a lot of characters. They have similar writing styles. They have similar plots. They just, I think, kind of vibe together. So if you liked those a lot, I would recommend this. If you didn't like those, I don't know that you'll like this. Like if you really loved Alone with You in the Ether, but didn't like the Atlas Six, I don't know that I would go to this next. I just wouldn't personally recommend that for you. But yeah, I think that's about all I have to say. Thank you for watching, and I will be back soon with another reading vlog.